Hello, so I am Kate. You might know me as Katie or Caitlin or Sandpaper Smiles if that was how you first heard of me. So yeah, I decided to make a video today because today is a very special day in my heart. Because I've been 365 days seizure-free, which is a huge milestone for me. And if you don't know and you're kind of confused right now, I have epilepsy. Yeah, that's why I have seizures. So today I didn't really know what to do, but I knew I wanted to make some kind of video, and I tried to write a song, I tried to write a poem, I tried to be all deep and stuff, but it just didn't work and I couldn't say it. But then I realized I had made videos about epilepsy before, but I've never made an actual video like telling my own story, especially over the last year or two. But I'll start at the very beginning, a very good place to start. Okay, let's not quote Sound of Music. It's not the time for that. Just in case you've never heard of me before, you don't know me in person, blah blah blah, and maybe you will learn something from my story. So let's give it a go. If you don't know what epilepsy is, this is really taking it back to the beginning of time, but you know, lots of people don't really know what it is. It's a neurological disorder that can cause a person to have seizures. So, if you don't know what a seizure is, you should really watch more TV, more House, more Grey's Anatomy. Actually, I've never seen that, but it's a doctor show. The most classic kind of seizure is when you fall to the ground and start shaking, but there are many other kinds of seizures too. There's some where you just stare off into space, there's some where you just like blank out but nobody realizes that you're actually blanking out, and there are the ones where you fall to the ground, there's the ones where you fall to the ground and shake, blah 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 blah, etc etc. There's lots of different kinds. That is the point I'm making. And a fun fact for you all out there is that anyone can acquire epilepsy throughout their lives. If you get hit in the head, I know someone who got struck by lightning, there are many ways that you can acquire epilepsy. So any of you out there could potentially get it one day if you don't have it already. Not trying to scare you. Or you can be born with it, like me. So when I was 2, I had my first seizure, and I wasn't diagnosed until I was 5. Throughout my young life, like toddler, into the tweens, I was not so worried about my epilepsy. I was on meds, it was under control. I went off my meds, it was under control. Sometimes it bothered me that my meds made me really fat, but I didn't really care. I still played hockey, still played soccer, still played all a jillion of the sports, and I still had friends. I told them about it sometimes. They didn't care, I didn't care, nobody cared. Something that really bothered me though was this little thing called my medic alert. It bothered me a lot because I would meet someone for the first time and they'd be like, "Oh, what are you allergic to?" And I'd be like, "Nothing, I'm just a weirdo." And they'd be like, "Okay." And I remember this one boy in my class was like, "Oh, what's your little bracelet for?" And because I have one too, I was like, "Yeah, I'm not allergic to anything." And my best friend at the time was like, "Just leave her alone, she doesn't want to talk about it." And then the boy's like, "No, really, like, I'm not allergic to anything either." He was like, "I have epilepsy too." I was like, whoa, I feel like a jerk now. But anyway, so that's the only really thing that got me down, because then I'd have to admit I had epilepsy. Then I moved schools, I became really quiet, and I started having more seizures because I was hitting puberty. So I went on a different kind of med, and this med stopped my seizures like that. Unfortunately, I got horrible side effects. I was painfully shy, and I was also really slow, so my grades were kind of dropping. It was a bit of a rough time for me. So middle school went on, blah blah blah, grade 9. I didn't tell anyone about my epilepsy because I was shy about it. I thought if I don't talk to anyone anyways, why would I talk to them about my epilepsy? Like, little did I know that in grade 6 they actually had a Caitlin drill where they all went outside of the classroom and practiced what would happen if I had a seizure on a day that I was sick. One of my friends told me about it. It was very embarrassing and horrible. So then in grade 9, I had to go to the hospital for a week-long EEG. And this is where I started to think, well, epilepsy has affected my life for so long, and it hasn't been that severe for me, but there are people out there who do have it really severely. So I made a website and I called it all Sandpaper Smiles, because before I have a seizure, I have an aura, which is kind of like a warning that my body's telling me I'm gonna have a seizure. And what I see is kind of like indigo colored sandpaper, or like another way to describe it is like TV fuzz. So I called it all Sandpaper Smiles because even though I got this aura, even though I had these seizures, I still kept on smiling through it all. There are kids who have like 20 seizures a day, 100 seizures a day. So many, like, it's incomprehensible to my brain. Like, having one feeling so out of control, It's so, so terrifying. It's a scary feeling. So imagining having to experience that over and over and over and over and over again, like really, that's probably my number one fear in life. So I thought, if these kids are having so many seizures a day, they're not going to be able to advocate for themselves, and they're not going to be able to say epilepsy is a thing, this is what you do if someone has a seizure, this is why you shouldn't discriminate against it, etc. And although I was getting better, although I hadn't had a seizure in what was almost 2 years on medication though, I thought, like, sure, I might be getting better, sure, I might be outgrowing this or something, but no one's going to speak up for these kids who can't speak up for themselves. So me and a couple friends, we made this club, we went around, we raised money, we donated it, we went to places, and we called ourselves the Epilepsy Awareness Squad. And this grew and grew and grew and grew until not only did everyone at my school know it, but a lot of people at my town knew it. They'd seen us at markets, they'd stop me on the street and be like, "Yo, the girl from the newspaper." And I'd be like, "Yeah, that's me, haha, the epilepsy girl." And it was really weird. And one way I really appreciated it, because I was bringing all this attention to epilepsy and showing so many people, educating them on what it was, educating them on things they could do to help people with epilepsy. But another part of me really hated it, because now everyone at school who knew me as the shy, quiet, weird girl now knew me as the girl with epilepsy, or at least that's how I thought they knew me. And I'd see people on the street and they'd be like, "Oh, you're so brave, that's the girl with epilepsy." And I didn't want to be known as the girl with epilepsy. I wanted to be known as Katie Shaw, the girl who happened to have epilepsy, you know? So that was something that really tugged at me for a while. But needless to say, we kept growing and growing, and we were being offered these amazing opportunities. We got to speak to some amazing, amazing kids. We got to speak at some middle schools, where the amazing kids were, and people were starting to really care. But it wasn't just people caring about epilepsy. I saw all these kids all of a sudden start to think, well, Kate, she's passionate about epilepsy, and look how big of a change she's making. Maybe I can take the things that I'm passionate about and start to make my own change in that, and it's not impossible, and it's easy, and all you need is yourself and a couple friends, and things just fall into place. But grade 10 was also one of the worst years of my life. I was on and off these medications. The first one I tried, I ended up being allergic to it. So I got these horrible blisters in my mouth, had to go to the hospital right away. It was not fun. So they took me off of it, and then they put me on a different one. And that one was really bad. It was probably the worst medication I've been on. It made me very depressed, and almost like suicidally depressed. So that was something that's not at all in my character. So, I mean, I don't personally think it's in anyone's character to be depressed, but it was just such an opposite from me feeling, and I hated it. And before long, my mom called my doctor, and she was like, "This isn't Katie, like, we gotta get her off this, like, it's crazy, like, she's gonna end up hurting herself or something." So I went off that one, and then we were like, what do we do? I did some research, and I decided to go on this diet called the ketogenic diet. Now, this diet, I didn't actually go on the ketogenic diet, because that's mostly for little kitties, and I was like 16, no longer a little kitty. So I went on the modified Atkins diet, which is basically high fat. It's really unhealthy for you. And within those first few days of doing the diet, I was completely seizure-free. But I had started to get these horrible stomach pains. And over the summer, those stomach pains began to progress, get worse and worse, until exactly a year ago today, they became unbearable. And I ended up projectile vomiting, like in The Exorcist, and having a seizure. So I had to go to the hospital. They took me right off the diet, and I was feeling pretty crappy about myself. I was like, crap, like, what the heck am I gonna do now? Like, I can't go back on meds. Can't go back on the diet because I'll have projectile vomiting and seizures. So what am I gonna do? So I was like, let's just wait it out. Let's just wait it out and see if I end up having seizures, because I might not even have them now. And if I don't have any, I won't do anything. I'll just be me. And lo and behold, that's what happened. I ended up not having any seizures after that. So part of me kind of thinks that maybe the diet like reset my system. That sounds a little crazy, but I don't know. Then on this fall, last fall, I went traveling and I've talked to people about it. I've talked to people about my journey, and I've met so many other people with epilepsy over the internet too. I've met so many people, so many people who I love, who are friends with me, who they've helped me and supported me so much through this. And thank you. I finally started to feel better. I finally started to be myself. I finally started to break out of my shell. I finally started to think. I finally started to get better grades again. I finally started to make some more friends. And every day I'm just growing more. I'm just learning more. I'm just becoming more me again. Because when I was a little girl, I was this little bratty kid who would like butt her way into every conversation. She'd like go and sing on the radio. She'd do this, that, the other, star of the musical, blah, blah, blah. She'd do all sorts of these crazy, stupid things. And I'm starting to become her again. I'm starting to grow. I'm starting to be more myself, and it's the best feeling in the entire world. It's the best feeling in the whole world. So there's been this just massive period of growth over the last year, but especially over the last couple months. Like at the end of school, our school was having a mental health day, and I presented one of my slam poems in front of the entire school, which is so crazy because I didn't even talk to half those people because I was this stupid shy person for so long, and I just opened up to them and they totally accepted me, like even though I'd kind of ignored some of them in the past, which was really crappy of me. I'm sorry if you're watching this. And then in this past month I started summer. I got a job, which is something that I totally didn't think I could do. I got my driver's license, which was amazing because I can drive and I'm really good at it, or so I say, besides if there's little animals, which there tend to be a lot of whenever I'm on the road. And this past month I got the opportunity, the amazing, exciting, wonderful opportunity to go to Ecuador with Me to We. And I was really concerned because of my health. I was like, how can I do this? I can't do this. I'm gonna have a seizure. I'm gonna have to go to the hospital. They're gonna have to fly me home. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this by myself? Why can't I do this with my friends? Why aren't my parents coming? Why am I doing this? I don't even understand. And I remember the afternoon before, I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this, and I was really freaking out. And I called one of the facilitators. She talked me through it. I called my mom like 3 times. She talked me through it. I was staying with the wonderful Carolyn family, who made me a lot less nervous because they were so lovely. And one of my friends on Facebook messaged me and said she'd been on the exact same trip. So that all the accumulation of those things calmed me down enough to actually step on board the plane, which I've always dreamed of traveling the world, and part of me has always thought, well, maybe you can't do it because of your epilepsy. And I just completely squashed that part of me, and I did it. And it was the most amazing trip. It's made me grow so much. I've gained confidence. I've gained so many friends, so much more of a perspective on the world, and it was just so amazing. And I just want to go somewhere else now. I want to see how big the world is. And then these past couple weeks I've been working a lot, and I've got these beautiful babies who I really want to show you. I don't know why, because I have to. So this is Indy. She's pretty sleepy still. This is my kitty Indy. Surprise! There's 2 of them. This is Bellamy. I don't know why I'm introducing you. I just feel like they're such a big part of my life already. And that's where I am today on 365 days seizure-free. I want to say thanks to my mom, to my dad, to my brothers, to my dogs, to my cats, to my friends who've stuck with me through it all, to my amazing teachers who also stuck with me through it all, to my doctors, to my Dr. Connolly. And if you're struggling with any problems, any hardships, if you just kind of believe in yourself a little more, then you should get through it. I know that sounds really cheesy, but honestly, until I started getting courage and gaining more confidence, I wasn't anywhere near getting better. And now I feel so healthy, I feel so alive, I feel so great. So thanks for watching this long spiel. I hope it wasn't too long. Okay, I need to say goodbye, but I don't know how. It feels like I've just like poured my heart out to you in the little internet, and I don't know how to say goodbye. 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 I swear to God, I'm not a crazy cat lady.